Hello and welcome. This is Notibot Yenji. We have breaking news unfolding around the world, particularly in the Middle East, as tensions escalate between Iran and its regional adversaries. A recent offer by Pakistan to host US-Iran talks has sparked a chain reaction of events, leading to a surge in military activity. Tonight, we'll bring you live updates, analysis, and insights on the latest developments in the Iran war and how it's affecting the global economy. We'll also examine the role of cheap drones, stock market reactions, and other key factors shaping this crisis. Breaking news is emerging from the Middle East as tensions escalate with a sudden escalation of hostilities in Iran, a region on high alert. Good evening. I'm your name, and this is a special report. We're bringing you live updates on the escalating tensions in the Middle East. In a shocking turn of events, Israel launched a strike on Tehran, Iran's capital city, in the early hours of the morning. The attack, which is believed to have targeted Iranian military sites, has been described as a major escalation by U.S. officials. The Pentagon has since confirmed that 2,000 airborne troops are en route to the region, amid growing concerns about a potential war between Iran and Israel. Pakistan, in a surprise move, has offered to host U.S.-Iran talks, as President Trump hinted that Washington is open to negotiations. However, it's unclear whether Iran and Israel would support a U.S. peace plan. The Iranian government has already rejected U.S. attempts to engage in talks. The situation is highly volatile, with both countries maintaining a hardline stance. Israel has long been a vocal critic of Iran's nuclear program, while Iran has been accused of sponsoring terrorism. The attack on Tehran is seen as a response to Iran's growing influence in the region. The U.S., Israel, and Iran are all key players in this complex game of geopolitics. With tensions rising by the hour, the international community is holding its breath. We'll continue to bring you updates as more information becomes available. As tensions escalate in the ongoing conflict in Iran, a lesser-known factor continues to pose a significant challenge to regional stability. The ongoing conflict in the Middle East has taken a significant turn with the involvement of cheap drones manufactured in Iran. According to reports by the New York Times, Iran's production of drones has been a major factor in its ability to launch attacks on Gulf nations, threatening global energy supplies. The Strait of Hormuz, a critical waterway for oil exports, has been a major target for Iranian drone attacks. The United States and its allies have called for Iran to stop its drone production, citing the risk it poses to international shipping and security. Iran has denied any wrongdoing, but evidence suggests otherwise. The country has been accused of using its drone manufacturing capabilities to supply weapons to its proxies in the region. The use of drones has allowed Iranian forces to launch attacks with relative impunity, catching international forces off guard. The situation has sparked a diplomatic row between Iran and the United States, with the U.S. imposing new sanctions on Iranian officials involved in the drone program. The international community is growing increasingly concerned about the threat posed by Iran's drones, with many experts warning that stopping production is critical to preventing further attacks. The involvement of cheap drones in the conflict highlights the evolving nature of modern warfare, where small, low-cost systems can pose significant risks to global security. As tensions continue to escalate, it remains to be seen whether Iran will comply with international pressure to halt its drone production. As world markets respond to a surprise announcement, the prospects for a long-stalled peace deal between Iran and the U.S. take a promising turn. A 15-point framework for peace has been proposed to Iran by U.S. President Donald Trump, according to reports. The framework, which has not been made public, is said to include a ceasefire in the Middle East and a commitment from Iran to allow non-hostile ships to pass through the Strait of Hormuz. The strait, located at Iran's southern border, has been closed to all but a handful of vessels since Iran's effective closure in September last year. This has had a devastating impact on global oil supplies, with the International Energy Agency describing the disruption as the largest ever in history. The closure of the strait has sparked international concern, with over 30 countries including the UK, France, Germany, Canada, and Australia signing a joint statement agreeing to work on appropriate efforts to safeguard the waterway. The United States, Iran, and other countries have also been in talks, with the U.S. saying that it is committed to finding a peaceful resolution to the conflict. The news has had a positive impact on global markets, with stocks in Asia and Europe rising in morning trading. Oil prices fell by 4% in the early hours of the day, but have since risen again to around $100 a barrel. The proposed framework has been seen as a potential catalyst for a ceasefire and has boosted hopes for a peaceful resolution to the conflict in the Middle East. Tensions between the U.S. and Iran continue to escalate, with Tehran explicitly warning Washington against testing its resolve to defend its territory, sparking concerns. Iran has issued a stern warning to the United States, telling it not to test its resolve to defend its land. The warning comes amid heightened tensions between the two countries, with the U.S. and its allies imposing crippling sanctions on Iran in response to its nuclear program. According to reports, Iranian forces have been deployed to the West Bank, where a confrontation with Israeli forces occurred earlier this week. Palestinian militants have been involved in clashes with Israeli soldiers, with Iranian missiles found at the scene of the violence. Iran has been accused of providing military support to Palestinian militants, a claim Tehran has denied. However, the presence of Iranian forces in the West Bank has raised concerns among regional powers and the U.S. The U.S. has been critical of Iran's actions, with Secretary of State Antony Blinken stating that Tehran's behavior is unacceptable. The U.S. has also imposed sanctions on several Iranian individuals and entities, including the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, which Tehran sees as a legitimate military force. The situation has sparked concerns among regional powers, with Egypt and Jordan urging calm and restraint. The U.S. has also warned that it will not tolerate any aggression towards its allies in the region. The warning from Iran serves as a reminder of the volatile nature of the region, where tensions between Iran and its neighbors have been simmering for years. As tensions escalate, a surprising trend is emerging, with global markets mirroring a familiar pattern, one that Donald Trump's presidency has been closely tied to. A recent analysis by Yahoo Finance has uncovered a pattern of suspicious trading activity surrounding President Trump's major policy decisions. According to the data, these trades occur with remarkable frequency and speed, often just minutes or hours before the announcement affects global markets. The study found that these trades are concentrated among a small group of wealthy investors, who appear to be betting against the market's performance in anticipation of the president's decisions. This phenomenon has raised eyebrows among lawmakers and experts, who point to it as a classic symptom of insider trading. The data suggests that these trades are not merely speculative bets, but rather calculated risks taken by individuals with access to non-public information. The scale of these transactions is significant, with some of the trades involving tens of millions of dollars. Critics argue that this kind of activity undermines trust in the markets and the democratic process. This is precisely the kind of alleged corruption that Trump built his political career railing against, said Senator Elizabeth Warren. It's outrageous that our markets are being manipulated by those with inside information, and it's even more egregious that our president appears to be complicit in it. As the situation continues to unfold, lawmakers are calling for greater transparency and accountability. The IRS and the SEC are reviewing the data to determine whether any laws have been broken. The White House has denied any wrongdoing, but the evidence suggests that a serious breach of trust has occurred. As tensions rise with Iran, a contentious vote looms on new war powers, prompting House Democrats to take a firm stance against defections. House Democrats are closing in on unity ahead of a vote that could limit President Trump's ability to wage war with Iran. According to lawmakers familiar with the matter, internal divisions within the party have largely subsided, paving the way for a more realistic chance of the measure passing the House. The bill, which would constrain President Trump's ability to wage war with Iran without congressional approval, has already garnered the support of two isolationist Republicans, who voted in favor of it last time around. With a narrow 217 to 214 majority in the House, Speaker Mike Johnson can only afford one GOP defection on an otherwise party-line vote. House Democrats have been working to resolve their differences on the issue, with some lawmakers reportedly willing to compromise on certain provisions of the bill. The move suggests that the party is united behind the measure, which could give it a better chance of passing the House. The Iran War Powers Bill has been a contentious issue for Democrats, with some lawmakers expressing concerns about its scope and others arguing that it is necessary to prevent a repeat of the 2003 invasion of Iraq. The bill's prospects are significant, given the ongoing tensions between the U.S. and Iran, and the need for Congress to exercise its constitutional authority to declare war. With Democrats appearing to be on board, the bill's prospects are now more favorable than they have been in recent weeks. That's all for today's news recap. Thank you for joining us. If you'd like to stay up to date on the latest developments, be sure to subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell. We'll continue to bring you in-depth analysis and breaking news on the issues that matter most. Until next time, goodbye, and we look forward to seeing you again soon.